Hello everyone, welcome back. We're back with the second part of our July 2nd and July 3rd recap. We're looking at all the signings in the Eastern Conference that happened on July 2nd and July 3rd, plus a small trade between Jersey and the Sharks. We'll go to all the updates from our past few days coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. Now before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to do this without all of you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Don't forget to stay tuned for videos that are coming out later today. I'm sorry if there's any noise in the background. We're having some things happening here today. But in today's video, we've got our second part of the July 2nd and July 3rd recap videos. We're recapping all the signs that happened on July 2nd and July 3rd, plus any that I missed on July 1st, and a small trade between Jersey and San Jose at the end of it. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. But here we're going to start with the Atlantic Division with the Boston Bruins. They made two signings on July 1st I missed. They signed Justin Esperiot to a one-year league minimum deal and Cavallini to a one-year $790,000 deal. Cavallini is an unsigned prospect, so he's brought in. He'll be an AHL player, probably nothing more than that. Esperiot has had some NHL experience, but it's basically been an AHL player the past couple of seasons. So I expect both of these guys to be AHL signings there for the Boston Bruins. We saw Detroit Red Wings make two signings on July 2nd, both very intriguing. The first one was with RFA forward Elmer Soderblom, the 6'8" behemoth of a forward who's worked really well at the NHL level when he's gotten his opportunities over the past couple of years. Signs a 2-year extension with AAV of $1.13 million. So our fourth line forward who's starting to come into his own. Not a bad deal there for the Red Wings. I definitely think Soderblom will be a solid bottom six forward for the Red Wings this upcoming season. They also signed Mason Appleton, the former third line forward in Winnipeg. Winds up signing a 2-year, $2.9 million deal in Detroit. Appleton, solid player. He was worked really well on that third line with Winnipeg the past couple of seasons. He's a really solid third line guy. I think for 2 years at just a hair under $3 million, that ain't a bad deal there for the Red Wings. And I definitely think long term he could be a really solid third line guy. So very interesting signings there. But one of the better UFAs left on the market in Appleton, as well as RFA Soderblom, were signed by Detroit. The Florida Panthers, one that I missed for the July 1st, was with Jeff Petry. As the Florida Panthers signed Jeff Petry to a one-year league minimum deal, and then on July 3rd signed Mackenzie Entwistle to a 2-year league minimum deal. So Entwistle was with the Panthers last year, was a call-up option, played mostly at the AHL level. Expect him to do similar things this upcoming season. Well, Jeff Petry, he can be the replacement for Nate Schmidt. Like a couple of years ago, they had Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Then they had Nate Schmidt this past year, and he did really well in the third pair role. I think Petry could do similar things, one-year league minimum, for a solid third pair defenseman who in the Florida Panthers organization might be able to do some really good things. I think it's a really good pickup here for the Florida Panthers. So all in all, solid pickup here from Florida as they get Petry on a one-year league minimum deal to be the third pair defenseman and Entwistle to keep around some forward depth. Then we saw the Canadiens sign 3 players on July 2nd. They signed Sean Farrell and Mark Delgazio to one-year league minimum deals. And on July 3rd, it was William Trudeau, one-year league minimum deals. Trudeau, Farrell, both AHL players. Prospects, though, who have bright futures. I think Trudeau eventually could be a solid player on the defensive end. Farrell on the NHL side. I definitely think Farrell eventually could be a solid bottom six forward, and Trudeau a solid third pair defenseman, but probably not this year, so those are going to be probably AHL level players. They also signed Mark Delgazio, one-year league minimum. He had split time last year and over the past few seasons with Nashville, between the NHL and AHL. Probably starts at the AHL level, but I could see him carve out a role if he does really well as like a third pair defenseman in Montreal. So some really good depth value signings there from the Canadiens. They signed Farrell, Gazio, and Trudeau. The All-Stars made 4 signings on July 2nd and July 3rd. July 2nd, they signed Arthur Kaliev and Hunter Shepard to one-year league minimum deals. And on July 3rd, they signed Hayden Hodgson to a 2-year league minimum deal, and Parsons to a 3-year $829,000 deal. Parsons is an undrafted prospect, gets an ELC, will probably play at the NHL level for at least a couple of years, so just a depth signing there. Hodgson will provide some forward depth for the Ottawa Senators. Kaliev, I definitely think is a really good player. 1 year league minimum for a guy who can put you up goals in the third or fourth line. A very fantastic pickup here for the Senators. Hunter Shepard can be a solid third, fourth string goaltender. Won't play at the NHL level, but could provide some goaltending depth. And Hodgson's definitely going to be just some added forward depth for the Ottawa Senators at the AHL level. So some very interesting signs there from the Senators, but I definitely like the Kaliev one. The Tampa Bay Lightning signed 3 players, 2 on July 1st that I missed. Boris Kachuk to a 1 year league minimum deal, and Ehlers to a 2-year, $873,000 deal. Young prospect, unsigned player, probably going to play the entire year at the AHL, so very interesting note there. And on July 2nd, they also signed Jacob Pelletier, 3 years, league minimum. Beautiful signings there with both Pelletier and Kachuk. Kachuk and Pelletier in the past have been NHL level players. This past year played majority at the AHL level. I definitely think Pelletier has the potential to be a solid top 9 forward. 3 years at league minimum is a great value add there for Tampa. And I think Kachuk will definitely provide them some forward depth and has familiarity with the Tampa Bay Lightning organization. So a couple really solid pickups here for Tampa and Kachuk and Pelletier. The Carolina Hurricanes made 4 signings. 3 on July 2nd, they sent Tyson Jost and Caden Primo to 1 year league minimum deals, as well as Noel Gunler to a 1 year $814,000 deal. On July 3rd, Nikolai Ehlers, the best player on the end-to-end hockey UFA board and on most teams' free agent board, signs in Carolina, 6-year deal, $8.5 million AAV. So with what everyone was expecting Ehlers to get, 6 years, $8.5 million, not a bad contract there for the Hurricanes. I definitely think Ehlers would fit into the top 6, be a solid goal scorer, point producer, help them in the playoffs. Is it exactly what the Hurricanes need? I don't think so, but it's definitely going to improve this team a lot. So a solid value add here for the Hurricanes as they are able to nab Ehlers. Meanwhile, Primo they acquired just before the free agency started. I think it'd be a solid third stringer there for the Hurricanes, so 1 year league minimum, not too bad. Tyson Jost, 1 year league minimum, can be a solid bottom 6 guy, can also be an AHL guy who can be a call-up option, so just some added depth there. Noel Gunler's one of their top end prospects. He was RFA, gets a 1 year deal, maybe could challenge like a top 9 role this year for Carolina, so very interesting note there, but some very interesting signings headlined by Ehlers. The Columbus Blue Jackets made 2 signings on July 1st I forgot to mention. One was Owen Stillinger, one was Christian Yaros, both 1 year league minimum deals. Both are AHL level guys, both will stay at the AHL level for the majority of the season, I would guess, so very interesting signings there for the Jackets. The Devils made 2 signings. One I forgot on July 1st, and that was with Evgeny Dodonov, 1 year, $1 million deal. And then on July 2nd, extended RFA forward Cody Glass, 2 years, $2.5 million AAV. Glass was originally scheduled to not be qualified. He wound up ending up being qualified by the Devils, so that was a solid pickup there for New Jersey. He can be a solid third line center going forward for the Devils behind Hughes and Heischer, so a very good pickup here for the Devils. Dodonov, he's going to be a solid bottom 6 guy, has some veteran experience to a younger team that's going to be great, so the Dodonov's going to be a solid bottom 6 forward there for the New Jersey Devils. So some really good pickups here as they do extend their third line center in Glass, and they get a solid bottom 6 guy in Dodonov. The New York Islanders made 2 signings on July 2nd. They extended Emil Heineman, who they acquired in the Noah Dobson deal, was an RFA, 2 year deal, $1.1 million AAV, and acquired the top KHL prospect this year in Shabanov to a 1 year, $975,000 deal. So after getting Saiplikov last year, who actually worked out quite well in their middle 6, they go after another top KHL free agent, and that's Shabanov. Shabanov should potentially get top 9 minutes this year for the Islanders, be able to put up maybe like 10-15 goals at the NHL level in his first season. So I definitely like this sign here from the Islanders and Shabanov. Meanwhile, they also get Heineman, 2 year deal, $1.1 million. Heineman had a really good rookie season last year, probably one of the more underrated ones, and I definitely think has the future of being like a solid middle 6 forward for the Islanders. So 2 years, $1.1 million. Beautiful pickup here from the New York Islanders. The New York Rangers made 1 signing that was on July 3rd, signing Trey Fix-Wolanski to a 1 year league minimum deal. The solid forward from Columbus, mostly AHL level guy, could potentially be a call-up option on occasion, but I definitely do think he'll probably wind up being a AHL level player for the New York Rangers. The Pittsburgh Penguins made 4 July 2nd signings. They signed Raphael Harvey Pinard and Alex Alexiev to 1 year league minimum deals, signed Philip Kemp to a 2 year league minimum deal, and Anthony Mantha to a 1 year, $2.5 million deal. So Alexiev, Pinard, like those signings. Both were relatively good at the NHL level over the past couple of years. Pinard can be a bottom 6 forward. Alexiev like a 6'7" defenseman. So at 1 year league minimum, great pickups here for the Penguins. They also get Kemp, who's probably going to be an AHL level player for the Penguins, and Anthony Mantha, 1 year, $2.5 million. He can fit in the Rail 6, be a short-term solution to try and help some of their younger guys grow, be a solid veteran presence, and could be dealt at the trade deadline. So very interesting signings there from the Penguins as they signed Mantha, Pinard, Alexiev, and Kemp. And then the Washington Capitals made 5 signings between July 2nd and July 3rd. July 2nd, they signed 3 players: Louis Belpedio, 2 years league minimum; Calle Rosen, 1 year league minimum; and Graham Clark, 1 year league minimum. And then on July 3rd, they signed their second round pick from this past year's draft, Gastrin, to a 3-year, $975,000 deal, and re-upped Anthony Beauvillier, one of the top free agents on the free agent board, 2 years, $2.75 million, and they bring him back. So Belpedio, Rosen, Clark, all AHL level defensemen. One might be able to be a call-up option for the Caps, but I think mostly all of those guys will be AHL level guys. They also signed Gastrin, who probably is a couple of years away from being an NHL level guy, but it's good to see that one of their first picks in the 2025 NHL draft has signed his ELC. And Anthony Beauvillier, 2 years, $2.75 million. I think it might be a slight overpayment, but it's only a 2-year deal, and I think he can still work well in the middle 6 for the Washington Capitals. So very interesting note there. But those are some very interesting signings there from the Capitals, including signing Beauvillier and one of their first picks from this past year's draft. So very interesting note there. And then we saw a player swap between the New Jersey Devils and San Jose Sharks, as the Devils have acquired Thomas Bordeleau from the San Jose Sharks for Shane Bowers. Bowers is in the final year of his 2-year deal with the Devils. He's at league minimum center/right winger. This past year had 4 games at the NHL level, putting up no points. Mostly AHL level guy, could be a call-up option. Still on the younger side of things, but hasn't really popped since being drafted in the first round of the 2017 draft. Still hasn't really found his groove at the NHL level, so an interesting pickup here. Maybe Bowers on a weaker Sharks team could get some bottom 6 opportunities, so very interesting note there. I think the winner of this deal is the Devils getting Bordeleau. He's 23 years old, so he's 2 years younger. He's a center/left winger. He's currently RFA, so he's in need of a new deal, but he does have some pretty solid seasons over the past little while. Last year had 1 game at the NHL level, no points. Also had 14 goals and 38 points in 59 games after he had 11 goals, 25 points in 35 AHL games the year prior, and also had 6 goals and 11 points in 27 NHL games. So I do think long term, Bordeleau can be a solid, maybe bottom 6 forward. I definitely think his ceiling at this point in time is way higher than Shane Bowers. So a very surprising move there from the Sharks side, but a solid move there from the Devils to get potential bottom 6 forward going forward. So very interesting note there. But those are all the movements we're going to talk about here today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who do you think won the Sharks Devils deal, and what do you think about some of these signings? I like the Ehlers one from Carolina. I think Mantha's going to do really good in Pittsburgh. I definitely think some of these other teams made some really solid moves. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. So that's all I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and for that, subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to do this with all of you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I also have a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So remember to check that out. There's a link to that in the description below. Can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.